In Beijing's western suburbs, cars were swept away on Monday as relentless rain since the weekend transformed roads into rivers, killing at least 2 and trapping hundreds, despite an overnight evacuation of tens of thousands from their homes. Hundreds of roads have become flooded in China's capital, with videos posted by state media showing half-submerged vehicles in Mentugu district hauled along by fast-moving torrents as the remnants of Typhoon DOKSURI dumped record rainfall on the city of nearly 22 million. Two bodies were found in a river during an emergency patrol in Mentugu as rescuers pulled hundreds to safety in other parts of the city. Besides Beijing, heavy rain continued to soak the neighboring city of Tianjin as well as Hebei province in a region nearly the size of Britain in the wake of DOKSURI, which was downgraded to a tropical depression on the weekend. Three of the 5 rivers that make up the high river basin rose to dangerous levels on Monday. Some houses were washed into the Yangtze River, and nearly 55,000 people were evacuated from their homes in Baoding City, state media reported. DOKSURI was one of the strongest storms to hit China in years and caused widespread flooding over the weekend in the southern province of Fujian, driving hundreds of thousands of people from their homes. Average rainfall in Beijing reached 176.9 millimeters 7 inches between Saturday night and Monday afternoon, with the maximum recorded rainfall at a weather station in Mentugu hitting 580.9 millimeters 23 inches, according to state media. The Beijing Observatory kept a red alert, the highest warning, for heavy rainfall in place, while Beijing Hydrology Station upgraded its flood warning with more rain and river flooding forecast. Incessant rainfall over the weekend until Monday morning has broken daily precipitation records at 14 weather stations in Beijing, Hebei, Shanxi, and Shandong provinces. More than 31,000 people were evacuated from their homes in Beijing. Work at more than 4,000 construction sites was halted. Almost 20,000 buildings were inspected for damage, and scenic spots in the city were closed, media reported. Both airports in the capital canceled more than 200 flights on Monday afternoon, with close to 600 delayed, according to flight tracking app Flightmaster. Railway authorities dispatched workers to send food including instant noodles, eggs and ham, and drinking water to train passengers who were stuck overnight. As many as 358 roads in Beijing were affected by the rain as of Monday. In northern Hebei province, a driver was missing after 2 trucks fell off a collapsed bridge in Baoding City on Sunday, while a railway bridge for freight in Shijiazhuang City was washed away in a swollen river, media reported. While DOKSURI continues to taper off, forecasters warned that Typhoon Cannon was approaching and was set to strike China's densely populated coast this week. Authorities said Cannon could inflict further damage to corn and other crops that have already been hit by DOKSURI. China's capital Beijing issued its highest alert for flooding and landslides amid heavy rainfall in the city. Large parts of the suburbs are at high risk of collapses, landslides, and mudslides, authorities said, issuing a rare red alert for flooding. This comes after tens of thousands of people were evacuated from their homes in the city as Typhoon DOKSURI brought record rainfall. Flights were grounded and hundreds of roads were flooded, state media reported. Typhoon DOKSURI is one of the strongest storms to hit China in years. It caused widespread flooding over the weekend in Fujian and brought heavy rainfall in the Tianjin as well as Hebei province, a region nearly the size of Britain. The typhoon was downgraded to a tropical depression on the weekend, but 3 of the 5 rivers that make up the high river basin rose to dangerous levels as houses were washed into the Yangtze River. Nearly 55,000 people were evacuated from their homes in Baoding City. In Beijing, average rainfall reached 176.9 millimeters, 7 inches between Saturday night and Monday afternoon, with the maximum recorded rainfall in Mentugu district hitting 580.9 millimeters, 23 inches. The Beijing Observatory kept a red alert, the highest warning, for heavy rainfall in place, while Beijing Hydrology Station upgraded its flood warning with more rain and river flooding forecast. The rain has halted work at more than 4,000 construction sites, and almost 20,000 buildings were inspected for damage. All scenic spots in the city were closed, state media reported, while both airports in the capital canceled more than 180 flights on Monday morning, with hundreds more delayed. As many as 358 roads in Beijing were affected by the rain, although there was no reported damage or casualties, Reuters reported. Forecasters also warned that as Typhoon DOKSURI tapers off, Cannon was approaching and is set to strike China's densely populated coast this week. After wreaking havoc in the Philippines and Taiwan, the remnants of Typhoon DOKSURI passed through China's capital city on Monday, forcing thousands of people to flee their homes. Beijing has recorded its heaviest rainfall for the year so far. Authorities warned of swelling rivers, floods, landslides, and mudslides in the capital and surrounding regions. Some 170.9 millimeters of rain inundated Beijing between Saturday night and noon Monday, the Beijing Meteorological Bureau said. This is the amount of rainfall for the entire month of July, according to official records. The torrential rainfall has forced authorities to issue the highest level of alert in northern China, covering millions of people. The alert includes 22 million people in Beijing and 40 million in Tianjin. According to local media, this is the first time such a heavy rainfall warning has been issued since 2011. As a precaution, residents have been asked to stay indoors. Offices have been asked not to force their employees to come to the office while public spaces and recreational centers remain closed. Chinese state media reported 2 bodies were pulled from a river in Beijing's western Mentugu district during an emergency patrol. Hundreds of roads in the capital are also reported flooded in Beijing, with cars being swept away and subway stations filled with water. The storm has been felt in China since Friday, first hitting the southern Fujian province with heavy rainfall. China's meteorological agency warned that DOKSURI's impact was far from over despite the reduced intensity. In 2021, heavy rainfall and severe flooding resulted in the death of 300 people in central China's Zhengzhou city. As a precaution, residents have been asked to stay indoors. Offices have been asked not to force their employees to come to the office while public spaces and recreational centers remain closed. Another typhoon named Cannon, the sixth one this year, according to Xinhua News, is expected to reach China this week. Authorities said it could further damage crops that have been affected by DOKSURI.